Hi everyone, good afternoon. I'm Soumitra Devarman. Today I will get around discussing about the poetry. So this poetry is from class 10 and this is a very beautiful poetry and this is a very easy poetry and I'm sure that most of us have read this poetry when we were in the 10th standard. So the name of this poetry is The Solitary Reaper. So this poetry has been written by the English poet William Wordsworth, and he's a very best known writer, and he has written so many poems, so many novels, and so many creations are out there of this very poet. But before I get started with my poetry analysis, let me give you my introduction. So I'm a student of B.Ed second semester. I'm from Siliguri Torai B.Ed College and Siliguri Primary Teachers Training College. So due to this, spread of this pandemic, there is an instruction by our college authority that we have to prepare some, online videos based on our method papers. Like if somebody has political science as their method paper, if somebody has history, geography, Bengali, so they are just going to deal with the videos based on this, method paper. So as I have English, as my method paper, so I'm just going to shoot a video, and that is completely my method paper centric. And from the college authority, it has also been instructed that we have to make the videos based on three, basic categories. Like for the English method paper students, we have prose, poetry, or grammatical portions. So in my first video, I also discussed about the poetry, and this time also, while I'm just shooting my second video for uploading, I'm just going to getting around discussing also another poetry, but that is completely different from my previous one. So the Solitary Reaper, and one most important thing before I completely move on with my entire analysis, that at first I would like to go through the lines, then after that I will make you understand that what the poet William Wordsworth also tries to say here through his writing of writing of this poetry. So the poem is something like that. Behold her, single in the field, yon solitary highland lass, reaping and singing by herself. Stop here or gently pass. So these three lines talk about a solitary lass or a solitary maiden. So this could be, we have to understand that one day William Wordsworth was going through a village or going through a place, then suddenly his attention was attracted by a young maiden who was cutting and reaping her grains in the field, and she was all alone, and simultaneously she was also singing some melancholy strain that was very much pathetic. That was if somebody hears the tone, definitely, or that is for sure, they will get attracted to the voice, because that was so compassionate, that was so sympathetic, and that was so nice. And and the poet also also telling the passers-by, if you just come here, so you have to be very much quiet and you have to listen to what she is singing, or you may, or if you are not interested, then you can pass. Then after that the poet says that alone she cuts and binds the grain and just sings a melancholy strain. The poet here is saying that she is all alone there and she is cutting the grains and binding that because she is going to take that with her at home. Oh, listen, for the well profound is overflowing with the sound. The poet here says that the way the girl, the maiden, was singing this melancholy strain, that was like echoing in the entire valley, and that was so what should I say, influencing enough or impactful. In the second stanza, the poet says that no nightingale did ever chant more welcome notes to weary bands of the travelers than some shady haunt. By saying that, the poet tries to say here that he has made a comparison between a nightingale bird and the girl. He is saying here that there was not a time when even the nightingale bird, it could sing more beautifully than that of this girl, because he was very much impressed. He was very much impressed by the way the girl sang the song. He was very much attracted to her voice. So that's why the poet was saying something like that. And after that also he is saying, a voice so thrilling never was heard in the springtime, also from the cuckoo bird, breaking the silence of the seas among the furthest Hebrides. And then after that he is trying to make a comparison between the girl and the cuckoo bird. And he is saying here that during the springtime, when a cuckoo bird sings anything, so he thinks that even the cuckoo bird can sing the way she has sung the song, because that was very much close to the heart, and he was very much influenced, and he was very much touched by the way the girl sang the song. In the third stanza, the poet writes here, will no one tell me that what she sings, perhaps the plaintive numbers flow for old, unhappy fur of the things, and battles long ago. Through these lines, the poet tries to assume that what is the theme of this song, or what the maiden tries to express through her singing. So just because he was very much confused about the theme, or if there is any sort of theme, so he was having some assumptions about the theme of the song. So he was thinking that it could be some kind of suffering that the girl went through sometimes in her past lives, or there is a kind of any mental anguishes or mental agonies that she is going to get through in the coming future. In the next line he is saying, or is it some more humble lay or familial matter of today, some natural sorrow, loss or pain, or that has been and may be again. And later on he is also making some assumptions. He is thinking that it could be some general pains or the general loss of something, some negligible objects, or something that a little bit painful to her that could happen to her. So he was like guessing about all these things. In the last stanza, the poet says, whatever the theme, the maiden sang as if her song could have no ending. The poet says that the way the girl was singing, and the way the poet was enjoying her singing, he was thinking there could be no ending, because it is consistently sung by the young maiden. I saw her singing at her work and over the sickle bending. So the girl still kept singing while he was reaping the grains and binding the grains also, and she was moving the sickle. The sickle is a kind of tool by which we can cut any grass, or we can cut the grains. So the maiden here was using the sickle to cut the grains, and she was simultaneously binding her grains. Then after that the poet tells here, I saw her singing at her work and over the sickle bending. I listened motionless and still. He was completely still. He was like motionless. It completely touched the heart of the poet. He could feel the blissful mood. He could feel the compassionate feeling that may come through consistent enjoyment of something. So he was deeply engrossed in the act of listening to the song that was sung by the young maiden. Then after that he says that in the last line, that is the last line of the poetry that I'm just going to say here. And as I mounted up the hill, thus the music in my heart I bore long after it was heard no more. He was very much reluctant not to leave the place, but there could be some possibilities that he had some sort of responsibilities to be fulfilled. That's why he had to leave at that time. But he was also thinking that he's going to his destination, but he will carry all the memories that he realized or that she acquired from that place. and in the last line he is also expressing that it could be that in the near future or in future that he could never have this opportunity to hear something like he heard from this girl. So this is how he tried to explain, or he just wrote that, or he presented, or he interpreted the entire scenario that he witnessed while he was passing through through the village, and he witnessed the girl who was singing a melancholy strain. So this is how we have to analyze any poetry. So this is how I just did that. I discussed it, and I hope that it is apt, or it is appropriate the way I just tried to interpret it. And so thank you so much.